welcome to the 11th topic of the Real Confident Carer. If you have gone through the other 10, well done. You have really made good progress. And today we're going to be talking about reflection. In this presentation, we're talking about how do you look at yourself, your self presentation, or just the way you when you look into the mirror, what do you see? How do you feel about that? And it's quite important to do reflective exercises as you go along your journey. So, areas of reflection that we're going to be talking about is your self presentation. Are you aware of how you present yourself in day to day interaction with other people? And your social titles. What do people call you? What do people say? And how do they respond to others who are different from them? Like, so you also respond to people differently, and people respond to you differently because you're different. Um, and when we say we mean majorly different. You're not from their country, you're different skin color. Of course, every individual on earth is different, but there's, of course, some groupings that's going to happen. And in the reflection series, we're talking about intentional living, remembering that your goals that you have set out for and intentionally living them on your own terms. Is it possible? We think it is. So basically, when we say reflection, the definition is making serious thought over one situation. So you are looking at your situation and thinking about deeply. Whether you like it or not is another situation, but you are giving it time. And it's very important to reflect on your own work and transition into the work arena and the lifestyle that you've created outside work. So people tend to just go to work and only get to reflect on their work when they have an appraisal coming up. Is that the way to live? I think that every day you should have just like a minor thought of how did my day go? If you've got a partner, whether it's a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or even your children, sometimes they'll ask you, how was work? You'll be like, just fine, but that's not true reflection. It is good to just think about it like, oh, today I was a bit messy. I was angry. I wasn't myself. Or, sure, today I went through the day pretending to be okay. I am tired. So all those things are reflections, and they help you see where you're coming from, where you are, and where you want to go. So self-presentation, when we talk about presenting yourself, there's two ways people do that, and you must consider the various communication styles, how and why they change, and even when. So, for example, your verbal communication. It will change. Definitely, your use of specific words. There's sometimes that words will have meaning to some people in a very light manner, and in other people it will not be as cool. So you can, for example, if you are talking to someone, you're like, "Oh, you're stupid." You could say that to your friend if you are in a casual relationship. And but if you say that to a client, that doesn't come out across right. And then you've got the accents. We've spoken about this a lot of times, and even the tone. So some people are sarcastic, and you can get it, and then there are others who will be straight faced, and you'll be like, "What?" So you kind of need to be aware, even yourself, as how do you present yourself verbally, and of course non-verbally. What is your body language like? Is it defensive? Is it attacking? Is it comfortable? Is it frumpy? Yes, you could be just giving those vibes with your body language, like, oh, you don't care about anything. You just always shoulders are low. You're scrunched up. You don't give the vibe that people are like, are you lazy or what's happening with this person? And you don't want people to be so confused, right? The other thing is dressing. How do you dress? So the way you dress is quite important because you may come across as if you're coming from a dingy area. For some people, dressing actually represents their religion. So you're going to see uh, Muslim women wearing hijab, and they might have it in different forms, colors, and styles. It's up to them. Um, but it's not even illegal to wear it, even if you're not Muslim. So someone can do it because they like it. They feel great to be fully covered, like a Muslim woman. And it can say something about your personality and who you are. And then, of course, your expressions. So expressions, we're talking facial expressions, the way you portray yourself, even like your your home can be an expression in terms of how you put your furniture together. Oh, there's so many ways of nonverbal communication, but you need to kind of be aware of it. Oh yes, another thing, like a car. If you have a car and then you have a personalized number plate, for example, that is a form of expression. And then here you'll find in the UK, people have different social titles. So you might have labels. You may have to find them out yourself, or you can ask anyone. You can ask Farisai at the end of this presentation. Names, titles, groupings. So, for example, caregiver is just carer. That's just another way. Some people won't like it. You might feel new, it's new to you, but get to know that there are some of these titles are well intended, but a lot of them are best described as symbolic interactionism, which means that's what you symbolize to them, and you need to be aware of what they mean, and if they pose any danger to you, just be aware of it. If you don't understand what it means, someone says it to you, don't be confrontational. Find someone who is safe to ask them, like, someone called me a name today, I didn't understand, what does this mean? And they can explain it to you. Then there's intentional living. We talked about it at the beginning because it's part of reflection. So it starts, number one, with making plans. What are your plans for yourself? Is it just to make money? It's always weird. People say, I want to make money. For what? What about making a life? Money should enable you to make a life. Even as a caregiver, you are here, you are working, but when do you take time off? When do you have time off for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your hobbies? And we've talked about this already, and this is why, like, really, we've gone through most of it. But intentional living also includes decision making. How do you make your decisions? What is your process for decision making? Make that an intentional process. Then there's a variety of activities that you can engage in. Some you knew before you left home, others you're discovering. It's all right. Don't hold yourself back. Just think about it, reflect on it, and then, yes, then conscious living is just living in the present, just being aware of your day-to-day activities. And then you can live intentionally. So, in conclusion, again, further information, just send an email to Farisai at realconfidentcarers@gmail.com. She will be more than glad to pick up your email and reply and give you information and tell you about the in depth handbook and seminars that she will be hosting. Do not be afraid to contact her at any time, and she will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.